Welcome to the Tibet Museum bi-monthly talk series. The museum conducts Tibet Awareness Talk series twice a month by inviting Tibetan experts, scholars, and other Tibetan researchers. And today we have here with us Mr. Tenzin Phuntsok Doring. And before he begins his presentation on Tibetan Electoral System, I would like to give a brief introduction about Mr. Tenzin. Mr. Tenzin Phuntsok Doring was born in Lhasa. He reached India at the tender age of 9 and had early schooling from Tibetan Home School, Missouri, and he did his Master of Philosophy in Political Science from Madras Christian College. His work experiences include twice president and also executive member of student body of Tibetan Students Association of Madras while in college, and General Secretary of Central Committee of National Democratic Party of Tibet, and as Research Associate of TCHRD. And his book on his college life, My Name is Tenzin and I'm Not Chinese, is available on various online bookstores. He currently works as English researcher at Tibet Watch. With this, I'll conclude a brief introduction about our speaker, and I would like to request Mr. Tenzin to please start his presentation. Thank you.
Alright, first of all, thank you so much for taking interest in Tibet affairs. I don't know whether to call it social affairs, cultural affairs, economy, political, whatever, but thank you very much for taking interest in Tibet affairs when the time is so difficult for us. Alright, I'm not sure if the topic is going to be so interesting to you, but somehow I can say that it must be new to you, so it is going to be interesting because every new topic is an interesting topic somehow. Oh, where is it? I don't know. Alright, we have features of the electoral system. Every country has an electoral system, whether it's a democratic, undemocratic, whatever. And we too have features that is going to be a defining feature for us. First of all, it is quite similar to other countries as well. Independence or autonomy of election commission. If the election commission is not independent, then they cannot conduct elections independently, by the way. So we have that which was provided in the Tibetan Charter. Now kindly understand that the Tibetan Charter is somewhat equivalent to the constitution that you have in your respective countries, and the rules are somewhat equivalent to the laws, because we don't have a country, so we can't say constitution, we can't say law. So ours is a two-round system. Is there anybody who is from France? Is there anybody? Or from Francophone countries? Nobody, anyway. We have a two-round system that is quite similar to French election, as you may know, where the primary election doesn't decide the winner, but they decide who are going to be the official candidates, and then the final election we decide who is going to be the winner for the sitting or whatever the office is going to be. Now, as far as the representation in the members of parliament is concerned, we have a mixed representation, which means that we have representatives from the province base, then we have representatives from the sectarian base, which is called, we don't call it as a religious base, but we call it a sectarian base within the schools of Buddhism. Then we will go to the details later. The nature of the election to the Sikyong, or what we call as the president of the Central Tibetan Administration, is a direct election, which means that people directly elects, unlike some other countries where the election to the president becomes indirect. Then there's a reservation. Now here, the reservation means if we have to vote 1 to 10 persons from each provinces, that we have 3 provinces like Dodo, Rizan. And when you are voting 10 persons, it's like a multi-member constituency, because you are not voting 1 person from the same district, you are voting 1 to 10 people. So when you vote 10 persons, then you have to vote mandatorily 2 women, because it's just for the women's empowerment objective behind that. And if you are voting for not more than 10, that is like 1 or 2 or maybe around 8, then you don't have to necessarily vote 2 women as a compulsory, like given constituency. So you don't have to vote 2 women. When you do not vote for 10%, you can vote 1 or 2 or 3, that depends. Or you can vote all the 10 forms as a women. You don't have, that problem is there. Then the ministers. The ministers are nominated by the president or the Sikyong, and they are approved by the parliament, like the Senate used to approve in the United States, the cabinet members. So it's more or less like an indirect election as far as the minister appointment is concerned. Then there is a scope or space for independent candidates. Many people say that you cannot run because if you are not, like in the candidacy after the primary election, then you cannot run for election. It's not like that. You have option for the independent candidates. They will give you a separate form for that. If you are not in the list of the final vote election, then you can say I want to stand on my own without the support of the election in the primary election. But I have about 25 members supporting me or nominating me, so I can contest the main election. And for conducting the elections, we have a separate law, or we can say rule, called the Tibetan Electoral System, which was enacted and also amended in 2000. Now, what are the officers that are elected under the CTA? Because all the NGOs are also electable officers, therefore we have to make it quite specific that under the CTA, what are the officers? Sitong is elected office, members of parliament, which has 45 members, is elected. Then they elect the speakers and deputy speakers within the parliament. That is called indirect election. Then you have something called Tibetan settlement officers. Like in Dharamsala, we have a Tibetan settlement officer who is elected. But not every Tibetan settlement officers are elected. Many of them are deputed by the Central Tibetan Administration. Then you have something called local Tibetan assembly, which is like a local parliament in each of the regions or settlements in India. We don't have that particular offices in abroad. Even though we have members of parliament representing in North America, Europe, Australia, but we don't have that settlement officers there. We only have something called Tibetan bureau officers who are not elected but appointed by the Central Tibetan Administration. Then there is something called Regional Freedom Movement that usually works to collect the taxes or duties from the Tibetan who are in exile. So these are electable officers under the Article 4 of the Tibetan Charter. Then, thank you. Then I can put this around. Then who can vote? It's similar to your countries. Adult franchise, those who have attained the age of 18 and above can vote. But there is a condition like every country has. A mentally ill person cannot vote. That is by law, and otherwise sometimes the law may forbid a particular person as a punishment, and they cannot vote. Otherwise, everybody who has attained the age of 18 can vote. Who can stand for the election? Now this is the main question. A citizen of Tibet, which means the exiled citizens of Tibet as well as Tibetans inside Tibet who cannot vote, by the way. So those in exile who have attained the age of 25 can stand for the members of parliament election. Now there are many, conditions there. He should not be declared mentally unsound by the qualified doctor. He should not be declared bankrupt. He should not have been declared convicted in any criminal offences. Which means here in India, a Tibetan is liable to the Indian court, to the Tibetan court, because the Tibetan court here we have in the city, they do not touch on the criminal cases. They only touch on the civil cases. So when we say criminal, it has to be referred to. For the Tibetans, it has to be referred in India to India, and those who are in abroad, like US, anywhere in that particular country, it depends on the host country. So these are certain should not be a member of staff. If a member or a bureaucrat in the CTA is going to be eligible as a candidate, then he will have to resign before the final elections. Then he should not be declared disqualified to contest. Now it may come under the law, any law that may deal with that. He will not be able to contest the election. And of course, that not detrimental to interest of India. That is quite similar to many of our countries. Who can stand for election? The only difference here is that the age. The person who stands for election to the sitting post should be at least 35 or above. Others are quite similar. One important thing here is that he or she should not be a person who was impeached by the parliament. The procedure is quite different. They need a two-third majority to impeach the president or it has never happened before, but I cannot say it will happen later. But somehow this is a condition. Then who can stand for TSO, that is Tibetan Settlement Office, Tibetan Local Assembly, Tibetan Freedom Movement. Every condition is same except that the age is lower, it's 25, quite similar to the members of parliament. What is the nature of the election? It's a two-round election. Many Tibetans as well, they get confused as to what the primary election is, what the final election is. Now here, I don't know whether you will agree or not, there are certain features in our electoral system that you may find quite interesting as well as you may find it quite, like you need to copy it. It's like in many countries, especially those democratic countries that are based on the party-based system, in them the party chooses the candidate. In India, they say it's Congress's hand, they have a symbol of hand. Then the BJP, they have a symbol of lotus. So the people used to say, see, we have to choose between this and this flower sort of thing, and we don't have any option because these are the parties that stands candidates. But for the Tibetans in exile, what we do is that people themselves choose candidate. I cannot deny that there are many other associations that may, put up candidates like this particular reason, that particular association may put up their candidates, but they do not officially become candidate until in the primary election when the people vote to declare these as the candidates. Whether it's a Sikkim, whether it's a ATPD or the members of parliament, whether it's a local office. So in the primary election, people vote, and then those who are eligible to, to contest the final election, these persons are going to be the main candidates for the final election. For example, like all of us are want to become a Sikkim, all right, and then the people voted, and 100 people votes 10 people, to be the Sikkim, and then the only first two or maybe not between the 2 and 6, the election commission says are eligible to be the candidate. So other like 7, 8, 9, 10 people, they will not become candidate because now by law they cannot become candidate at all. So this is how it is. And then in the final, maybe they can choose 2, maybe they will choose 3. Somehow, those 2 or 3 persons is going to be the official candidates for the final elections, and from there they choose one Sikkim. So it's like, you're not going to have a candidate who just means 23% of the vote, like the French president did in the primary election, and then he became a president of Sikkim. No. They are going to have an absolute majority. The percentage may differ from country to country, but it's like a person who has achieved a 51+ percentage in elections, he can be declared as elected. Because there are going to be only 2 persons, so this percentage is going to be his or her. However, in case a person says he don't want to contest elections, like I don't want to contest election because I and she were selected for the final candidate, and I say I don't want to contest election, then she will be declared elected automatically only if she received 51% in the primary election. Otherwise, you cannot say 49% with this lady, they cannot declare that Sikkim. So this is the way in which we elect our leaders. So I hope it will be quite interesting. When we say 2 rounds elections, then by the way, we are going through a discussion in the parliament whether we need 1 election or 2 elections. Because of it, I didn't speak so detailed on that because it's a subject to the parliamentary discussion. So I don't want to speak on it. But I just want to say that when I see that we have a 2-round system, then I thought, is it only us who are going through this? Then I found that yes, we have some friends in the world. 87 countries in this world goes for the election of president in 2 rounds. Do you find any countries of yours? I don't know which one you belong to, but somehow these are countries. I mentioned Argentina, Mongolia, Ecuador, and all this just for the example's sake. There are many countries which I even don't know exist, and this also goes for 2-round election. Then there are 19 countries in this world that goes for 2-round election as far as the National Assembly is concerned, which we call as a parliament. So I'm quite happy that we have some friends in the countries that goes for 2-round elections. Don't know if it's going to be quite related. I'm the person who always proposes for the 2-round election, and I always reject 1-round election. I put up a reason because whenever we had a primary election, this is 12th election, this is 13th election, this is 14th election, and here is the 15th election. Whoever won in the primary election, he mostly wins in the second election as well. So there was the question why we need a second election, because it's going to be expensive for us, it's going to be disturbing for us because the gap is quite long. So that question came up in the parliament, and we said that yes, it is true, but somehow we cannot say no, we will go for 1 election altogether, because now the candidates for the Sikkims are increasing every day. In the 12th, we have only 2 candidates. In the 14th, we have 5 to 6. In the next election, which is going to be maybe in 2020 or 2021, even I can contest election because I'm going to be 36 by that year. That I'm just giving an example, I'm not giving any official notes. So in that case, anybody can contest election. So in that case, sometimes a person who has, like just a percentage of 23 or something like that, you can see here. they can get declared as elected in the first round itself. Because when you say only one round, you are saying first past the post system technically, which means that whoever won the majority or the most number is going to be elected. So I don't want, like, this is the example please. In the first round, Emmanuel Macron won 24%. Now if you declare him as elected, you are going to declare that the 75 somewhere percentage people who do not support him is going to be the president. So that is going to create a lot of trouble for him when he executes the policies, because the majority of people didn't support him. They supported somebody else. It doesn't matter whether they supported 74 for one person or another person. So when they went for the second round, then we confirmed that yes, 66% supported that particular person, which means that when he becomes president, he can implement his policies well because he has a majority on his back. It's not like he has only 24% of population that is behind his back. So this is how I say this. Then I said, yes, we will have two rounds, but for the first round, if somebody wins absolute majority, then we can reject the second round because it's going to be costly, it's going to cause a lot of chaos. So we will have only one round. That is what like the issue is pending in the parliament. So I don't know what they are going to decide. This time they are not going to decide because they are having a parliament right now, the session, and tomorrow is going to be the last day for them. So some of these are the introductions that I have before we write. So you can see this, Sikyong's primary election form. When you vote for Sikyong, every Tibetan, they vote two entities, one for Sikyong in the general election, I mean. Sikyong, voting for Sikyong, you have this form. You can put up whoever you want to be. In French, there is a saying that first you vote with your heart because you're going to vote a person whom you like. It is not necessary that you are going to vote a person who is going to do something for the country. It is not necessary. But in the second election, you're going to vote with your heart because the person you like didn't get majority, so you have to choose somebody. So in that case, you have to decide which one will do better for the country. So this is just a French saying. I always steal from France, by the way. So in this parliamentary election form, you have along this. This is just an example. I just clicked it from the book that they have. You can vote 1 to 10%. As I said before, 10%, if you're voting for 10%, then you have to vote 2 persons, ladies name compulsory. And if you're just voting for someone 1 or 2, like if I want to put her name on there, or maybe 10 ladies as well, that is fine. So this is how the election system is. And I think I should end up here. And I should put more space for the question and answer session. That is going to be more interesting. Thank you.
How often do you hold elections?
All right, exactly. That deals with the term of the office itself. We have elections after every 5 years. After every 5 years. Because the term for the Sikyong is 5 years, the term for the ATPD is 5 years, as far as the general election is concerned. And the term for the local assemblies, they are 3 years. So as far as the local assembly and the Tibetan settlement offices are concerned, we have election after every 3 years. As far as the Sikyong office and the ATPD members, that is the General Parliament, is concerned, we have election after every 5 years. So it's a 5-year, it's quite different from other countries, by the way. So Sikyong, this Sikyong got elected just 1.5 years back. So we will have election in the 2020. But here in Dharamsala, we had a Tibetan settlement office who got elected at around the same time. But he will have to contest again in the after 3 years. So it's 3 years for the local offices such as Tibetan Settlement Office, Tibetan Local Assembly, Tibetan Freedom Movement, and 5 years as far as the Sikyong office and the Central Parliament elections are concerned. But in case the Parliament gets, we don't have by-elections. That I thought it may come in the question as a session, that's why I didn't tell you. By-elections, usually if we have 10 members in the Parliament, if one resigns or if the seat falls vacant because of whatever the reason, that seat will be filled up by the next person who got the highest votes. Earlier we had that by-election, but they said it's a very difficult job. The election commission says it's very tiring, people do not turn up for the by-elections. So for the time being, by-election is buried under the sun. Right, sir.
Could you tell us a bit about what kind of powers and decision-making the President and the Parliament has?
All right. the president has the chief power the president or the Sikkim has is executing the law or executing the rules and as said and as mentioned in the Tibetan Charter. As far as the ATPD members are concerned, the parliament, their main job is to make law, to amend the law or to change any clause of the law, and most importantly, they have to hold the president and his cabinet accountable. They have to ask questions. They can even, impeach the president. They can impeach any individual cabinet members. When they impeach Sikkim, they are impeaching the whole cabinet, because here we work as a collective cabinet like you have in British. It's a collective system. It's more or less like your system as far as the cabinet system is concerned. When they elect a particular minister, say finance minister, say home minister, they are impeaching the particular minister. So the ATPD member is responsible mainly for making laws, changing laws, amending laws, impeaching the official concerned in the ministry, and also holding them accountable, like the British system does. So ours is a very, it's a unique system in the sense that we work like a quasi-parliamentary, quasi-presidential, like a French system. A minister who is elected as a member of parliament should resign as a member of parliament when he is nominated for the minister, like your French country has. Which is not in the case of British, because for you to be a minister, you have to be MP first. In India, to be a minister, you have to be MP first. To be a prime minister, you have to be MP first. So that is quite different.
Question regarding the nationality or country of origin of the candidates, given that the current Sikkim has a US passport, if I'm not mistaken. So it rather goes by nationality, I suppose. But then, what is the case if, say, you have mixed parents?
Alright, very, very interesting questions. As far as the mixed parentage is concerned, a person should attain the age of 18 first. Because before that we cannot decide. It may depend on the country that the person is mixed with. Like we have a lot of Tibetans who are American citizens, we have a lot of Tibetans who are European citizens as well as Indian citizens. So a person, particular person that you are talking about, any particular person, should reach age of 18, and then there he should decide. Because ours is an exile-based system, we call it sometimes diaspora. It doesn't matter which citizenship you have, because a father or mother could have already been a citizen of that particular country. So, but he can have a Tibetan book called the Green Book, you must have seen that. As long as he has that, then it is okay. He can serve in the CTA as an MP, as a Prime Minister or whatever. But when you say, I want to renounce that particular book to be a citizen of any other country, then that's where his becoming Sikkim ends. So the short answer to this could be that in the Tibetan Charter, it says that you are a Tibetan citizen, but they didn't, specifically mention that you could not become a citizen of any other country. Because we are in exile. Whether as a refugee or not, we are in exile, and therefore there is a complexity as you ask that question. So if you have that green book saying that yes, I wanted to serve the Tibetan administration in any capacity, then you can do you can just pour the money, some amount that they collect. You can put them yearly without contesting any election, or you can put any amount and then you can say, I want to take advantage of that particular office, whatever the office is concerned. So it will depend till they reach age 18. But the green book that we have is given when the person reaches age of 6, if I am not wrong. I was given that when I was age of 9, because I came from Tibet at the age of 9, so it's already 3 years old. So a person, that particular child, we have to get age of 6. And definitely I think that Tibetan father or mother, whoever it could be, they will ask for the green book. If they didn't ask for the green book, then he is not eligible.